So if you look at the college football playoff, 12 spots, one goes to the group of five. Notre Dame obviously positioned themselves very well to make it because they're probably going to be favored in their next 11 games. They do go to USC, who looked better at the end of the season. But if you kind of parse this out, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State didn't slip at Morgantown. They looked good. Then you have your Big 12 winner, your ACC winner. And then there's 3 spots left. I don't know how many SEC teams is it. Do they take them all? You have Ole Miss, Bama, Missouri, Tennessee, Texas A&M, LSU all in the mix. Maybe another team can slide in there. But I think that after this weekend, Colin, I'll throw this to you. Miami, I mean, they just look head and shoulders above everybody else in the ACC. Any bets you like there or any thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Slot Miami into your 3rd or 4th seed as winning the ACC. Now, keep in mind, they don't play Clemson this year in the regular season. So they do have to play Florida State. But when you look at the havoc numbers of the 11 remaining opponents, nobody out there is going to be on top of Cam Ward and force him to do the things that we saw at Incarnate Word and at Washington State. I think Miami has got to pass all the way to the ACC championship game. Whether Clemson can show up there and generate some havoc, I don't even know what that defense is going to be capable of at the end of the year if things keep going this way. I think another team that really made a huge statement this weekend, I know we talked about Notre Dame and Texas A&M from the Aggies side of it, but we said that the Irish have 3 games this year that they have to win, and that was Texas A&M, Florida State, and USC. Florida State is now a non-factor. That is a game I project the Irish to be favored by 13 points over the Seminoles. And at the end of the year, we'll see maybe USC and Notre Dame are playing a game to get into the playoff. That's something where I see Notre Dame as a 2-point favorite on the road in the Coliseum. So I think Notre Dame did themselves a tremendous favor. And now the world has woken up to find out that USC actually can play a little bit of defense. So big weekend for Notre Dame in general because of their future schedule.
Yeah, I think another big winner, obviously Miami from the ACC was the big winner, but of their early week, like of the early season, Clemson, I think, despite getting blown out, was a net positive winner in the ACC. And it's because of all the other teams, right? One of the hardest games on their schedule, number one, they avoid Miami. Miami looked great. As you mentioned, Clemson avoids Miami. One of the hardest games on Clemson's schedule, besides the one that they lost. And look, the market was already assuming that they were going to lose to Georgia. They were, double-digit underdogs. But they go to Florida State. That's one of the hard, and Florida State looks like a corpse. So, the path for Clemson potentially getting to Miami in the ACC championship, I think, got easier. The question is, can Cade Klubnik find his offense? There's definitely some of these teams that are in the mix, but maybe on the outside looking in, major quarterback questions after some shoddy performances in week 1. Johnny, any thoughts on the college football playoff race? Any teams you want to mention if you want to talk Miami or wherever you want to go with it?
Yeah, I think obviously Miami is obviously, one of the teams right now that looked really, really good coming out. I mean, you play an interstate rival in Florida, you come out and you do that to them. I think it all starts with the quarterback play and Cam Ward. That guy is playing like he's played a lot of football. He's playing like a guy who's seeing things very slowly, getting the ball out of his hand very, very quickly and being super, super efficient. I mean, you see on some of these runs where he's kind of just like getting what he needs to get and then kind of almost like he's walking out of bounds a little bit. This guy has a lot of experience. Obviously, I think a completely revamped team around them a little bit that's put them in a great position. Like you said, obviously my favorite to come in here and win the ACC as well. And after a slow start for the ACC week 1, I don't see how anybody's going to be able to really slow them down. But the guy's playing absolutely lights out right now after week 1. We'll see. Obviously, I have high hopes and faith, and I think that he will be able to keep up this play throughout the season.
Yeah, the other thing I didn't mention in the ACC is Va Tech, too. Va Tech, who, had a good run at the end of last year, but they didn't really beat anyone. Then they lose at Vandy, and they were one of everyone's favorite sleepers. NC State, we'll see how they look against Tennessee, but it's not like they wowed the world against Western Carolina in the opener. So the ACC as a whole, just maybe BC will be there against Miami. Old school Big East vibes. Maybe Ed Reed will come out and kick off Castellanos to seal the game.